Okay, let's get started. We're going to recreate something along these lines. So I've got my bits ready. I've got some old book pages to make pockets with, bits of lace, and I've got these 2 sheets of paper. This is Granny's Attic from My Porch Prints, and I think this is a Ruby and Pearl one. So I have cut some thin card. It's 3 1/8 by 6 1/4. The first thing I'm going to do is stick this down onto the paper and just use a glue stick for that. I'm going close to the edge, doesn't really matter too much. Because in my case I will be stitching. If you're not stitching, you need to glue a little bit more thoroughly. So that's that one. Glue stick. And this one we can put right up to the edge. The other one I didn't put right to the edge because there was a darker strip here that I didn't really want. And then if we just cut those out, our 2 tags ready. To make the pockets, I'm just going to take this board away. Sorry, let's do it better on this one. Let me get you straight. This setup I've got is really hard to get everything straight, but I'll just do the best I can. To make the pockets, they obviously need to be the same width, and I make them about 2.5 deep. And I quite like foreign language text, and this looks a bit vintage for this, so I have got, this is Welsh language, and I'm doing them double just because it's thin paper. So let's cut those down to 2.5. My little tonic guillotine, I wouldn't be without this. Really, really helps. And then 3 1/8 across. So these are our pockets. Writing the right way up. That's 1 and 2. So to get those how I want them, I want to zigzag across the top, but I'm going to add some lace on each one. So I've already cut that roughly to size. See where I want it. Really matter, does it? There we go. Before I stitch, just to make life easier, I would just put a little strip of glue across the top. Glue out. As soon as you don't craft for a day, it all gets gummed up. just tacking that down across the top. I also want to choose, obviously before I stitch it onto the actual tag, I need to put my central image on, and I'm going to use this Tim Holtz stamp, so I'm just going to stamp that on some scraps of card, stitch across the top here, and then I'll come back and show you where I am. So I've stamped my Tim Holtz stamp. It's from the Field Notes collection. I think it's called Field Notes. I take mine out of the original packaging. Pretty sure it's called Field Notes. I'm sure you can find that. It's a really useful set. So I've stamped it on some pale cream card, and I'm just tearing around the edge. Sorry, I think I keep going out of... And I used Black Ranger archival ink to stamp with. There's a bit of glue in the middle there, and I'm just popping it on there. And what I'm going to do now, before I go any further, is stitch. I'm going to zigzag round this rough edge and across the top of each of these, and then I'll be back. Okay, so we've got our 2 pockets made. Quite straightforward. And I'm just going to tack these down with a bit of glue. They're going to be stitched in my case. If you're going to not stitch, obviously you need to glue all the edges in place. I'm just doing it enough to hold it in place while I do some other bits. So to shape the top, I use my credit card, or I don't know what this is. This was a ski pass, I think. I did go skiing once. I was 59 the first time I went skiing. Well, the only time I've been skiing. I loved it. I'm getting a bit old now. I'd love to go again. But I'd quite like to go without the skiing. Just the mountains and the snow and the sunshine would suit me. So we'll see. I need to talk to my nephew-in-law. He arranged the last one we went on. So hopefully I'll see him soon and see if we can get that sorted out. Okay, so that's the 2 tags shaped. I'm going to mark at this point roughly where I'm going to put the grommet or the eyelet. I don't want to do that bit, well, I could make the hole I suppose, but I don't want to do that bit until we've stitched round. Otherwise the grommet sort of interferes with the stitching. So that's the main part. I am going to stamp from this set of stamps, and I'm going to use this Paris one that I particularly liked. So again, I'll use archival ink. These are Sam Paul designed, and I think most of you will know Sam for her junk journal bits and bobs. So that's going to go along there. And then on this one, I'm going to use, what does that one say? I want to use quite a shorter one up here, so I think I'll use this script. I haven't used this one yet. 4782. These just add a bit more interest. That's that one. And what I want to do now is straight stitch round these edges. I'm going to find 2 cards out of these albums. These are still fairly readily available in the UK anyway. There are 2 series. This is the first series and the second series. The second series has got the foxgloves on. I prefer this one overall. I've gone sort of pinky again, so I'm looking for, probably those 2 will work quite well. So don't spend too much time on all of this. And I'm just going to pop those back into the guillotine to cut them down a little bit. Sometimes I would like to leave this edge on, but not in this case, just because I want this quite narrow. Go. So that one will go in there, and that one in there. And I'm going to top these off with a little bit of lace, and I've literally just cut a squiggle of lace. Again, to hold it in place, let's just see if glue stick will work. I just use the glue stick to hold that down, and I'll do a zigzag across the top of those. So what I'm going to do now is go away and stitch around the edges, and then I'll come back and finish off. Okay, so the last bits would be the grommets. This I'll use the Crop-A-Dile. My husband put some WD-40 on this for me. It's gone a bit squeaky and a bit stiff to use, and it's made such a big difference. So probably don't need a man to do that for you. I do. But if you've got some WD-40, you just put it inside there, and it's really giving it a new lease of life. So there's our 2 tags. This, I was thinking about this, you could do this on fabric, and that would look quite pretty. And then we just need to top these off with some, I thought we'll use some, whatever this is, crinkled seam binding. That's the stuff. This is just a short piece, but I think it'll work at the top of that one. So that's that one. This one was a bit peachier, but I've gone down a pinkier route, so let's find some pink. Yeah, that one will work. A bit longer on that one, which is what I would normally do. And there we go. 2 extra tags, which I think turn out really quite nice. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.